Come here. Come here. Come here for just a minute. Hello everyone, it's Space Mike here, and this is my loyal cat, Kidder Khan, who loves me very much. Don't you, kitty? Oh yeah, that's how you love me. As I'm sure a lot of you have noticed, I haven't uploaded any videos on this channel in quite some time, and it's cool, you can give me a hard time for it. I love you so much, kitty cat. I do. I love you so much. Okay, you can go down now. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so when life hasn't been getting in the way over the past couple of years, you've probably seen me on Tomorrow, where I cover all of the rocket launches and pretty much anything to do with rocketry and human spaceflight and new developments that can get us towards a space colonization future. And over the past couple of months, some exciting things have been happening. So far this year, we've been able to get me physically in studio 3 times on Orbit 11.12, 11.14, and 11.20. And it's been so awesome to be able to physically be there and hang out with the crew and interact with them in real life, and it's just so much fun. But I think so far my favorite this year has been 11.12 because afterwards we went to the Yuri's Night Los Angeles party. Wow, did we have a lot of fun at this party. As you can tell, the atmosphere was awesome, being able to hang out with space geeks, and probably the biggest mind-blowing thing for me was being able to hang out underneath a space shuttle. I just could not believe how close we were to Space Shuttle Endeavour, and this is the first one that I was actually able to see up close and personal, and I just, oh man, I just about lost my mind. So Yuri's Night was a lot of fun. And as proof, we have crew photos as well, taking it there, you know, little celebrity backdrop thing there. I love how a thing that had the whole David Bowie thing going on there. It was just so much fun to hang out with everybody at Yuri's Night. Ah, man. I cannot wait until next year because I'm sure we're going to have just as much fun, if not a lot more. Now, Yuri's Night was in April of this year. Fast forward to May, and after Orbit 11.20, where I was physically there in studio, I was flying out to go see the Antares launch for the OA9 mission. Holy cow. So I went from the studio, hopped on a plane, and went to Washington, D.C., where I met my good friend Mac. And this guy, this sign that he has there says TMRO in the Klingon language. I love it. This is, we had so much fun. While we were there, when I flew into Washington, D.C., we stayed at the Watergate Hotel, right on the 6th floor, looking at the building that they did all the spying from. So of course, while we're there in D.C., we have to go see some of the touristy monuments and see the Washington Monument, and I really loved the old Smithsonian building, and you know, we were a little bit goofy and had to take a couple of different photos. But beyond that, I mean, being able to see the Capitol building there, I mean, just Washington, D.C. is just an awesome experience. And being able to see the Lincoln Memorial, I could not believe it, man. I was literally getting teary, especially like reading the Gettysburg Address on the side of the wall there. That temple was awesome. Take a couple of more quick pics while we're there, and then we went over to the Air and Space Museum. I've been in the Air and Space Museum once before, back in 2012. At the ISDC conference, there was a gala dinner to honor John Glenn. And this time, it was really cool to see all the different artifacts that were there, and seeing Enterprise, and just, I had to geek out about the rockets. All right, so we got Aerobee, Vanguard, Redstone, but it's the Juno because it has the Sargent stack at the very top. And then we have Jupiter. And then I'm not sure what that one is in the background there. And then we have the other Juno, which is the beginning of the Minotaur ones. How about that? And then right here, one of my favorite space missions, Apollo-Soyuz test project. Right in the middle of the Cold War. Alexei Leonov and Deke Slayton shaking hands and trading brandy and vodka. Beautiful thing. Seriously, I love this mission. That's kind of the beginning of the International Space Station right there. Oh man, but seeing all the cool stuff that they had there was awesome. And before, I did not get a chance to walk through the mock-up they had of Skylab, so this time, being able to actually walk through it was sweet. Here. We're going into Skylab, man. Almost there.
How was it?
Your chair. Exercise bike and the shower. Oh my god. beanbag cabin quarters. I loved the way that they like sat at the tables here for this.
Now look at above you. There it is.
Wow.
There's the padding. There's the padding that goes all the way around.
Wow.
Can I cry? Don't touch me.
I might not cry for I might not cry for Spirit of St. Louis, but I sure cry for this.
Oh my God, man.
So I had to take at least a photo in front of the Wright Brothers plane. So cool to be here and to see Skylab and actually get to walk through it this time. Holy cow, that's, wow. Yeah, this is awesome. Getting to see the Antares mission was a trip. It was only the second rocket launch that I've ever seen live in person. The first one I ever saw was the last space shuttle mission, STS-135. So it was really, really cool to get out there. Although my camera conditions weren't ideal and we were pretty far away at the public viewing site instead of the press site, it was still so awesome to see, and I don't know what exactly happened to my audio at the very beginning of it, and things came out about way blurry, and man, I'm a bit disappointed in the technical difficulties that I had and my inability to correct it in time for the launch. However, it was still beautiful, and it was amazing to see, and to see you pop out of the clouds when we all kind of thought there for a second like, oh, launch is over, that's all we get to see. That was so cool, and it kept going for quite a while. If you do want to finish watching the footage that I collected from that, you can click right here to see my full capture of that. It was very cool. It was really cool, and hopefully I'm going to be seeing a lot more of rocket launches live in person. Well, it's definitely not the last rocket launch I'm going to see in my life. Let's put it that way. Now, the next morning, our trip wasn't quite over yet because we had to go to the other Air and Space Museum in Virginia, specifically the Stephen F. Udvar-Hazy Center, and holy cow, was that awesome. Not only did they have an SR-71 there, and they had a Messerschmitt there, which was one of the first jet aircraft ever, but they also had a space shuttle. 2 space shuttles in 2 months. I could not believe it. Oh, to get that close to 2 space shuttles in that amount of time, I was geeking out hardcore to be around all of this different stuff. And oh man, seeing all the different mock-ups that they had there, especially of these different satellites, I thought that was just really cool to see all those early satellites, and just, oh, it was so cool. But kind of interesting, we actually got there a little bit late, and so we only had like 5 minutes before security was going to kick us out. So just wanted to run through the whole space segment of this. There's a lot of aviation stuff there, but their space segment had some really cool stuff. Not only to see the Space Shuttle Discovery, but oh my goodness, to see all the different rockets that they had there. I mean, you can see the Pegasus rocket a little bit right there, and then we go through and they had an Agena rocket, they had the engines for Jupiter rocket, they had the whole evolution. They had starting off with like a V2, going to the Redstone engine, going to the Jupiter engine, they even had a Navajo engine, and just, oh man, it was so awesome. And then whatever the heck this thing is, I did not know that this was a real thing until actually looking at it. And yeah, apparently it was like a German anti-aircraft missile, but I could have sworn it was something out of like steampunk or something like that. I thought it was like something from a TV show. Anyway, pretty cool. Now, if that wasn't enough, just a couple of weeks later, I went back to the West Coast for the International Space Development Conference, put on by the National Space Society. And while I was there, I was actually invited to speak on a panel. The whole purpose of the panel was talking about how we can best communicate all the things that are going on in the space industry to the general public, and to get people excited about what's going on and all these awesome discoveries that we're making. I consider myself a regular person who eventually became in the know. But one of the big things of why I am doing this is because I believe that spaceflight is the most important noble activity that humanity is engaged in right now. Now, you may have noticed they had some pretty interesting people on that panel. They had Jeff Notkin, the asteroid hunter, Pascal Lee, Matt Kaplan from Planetary Radio, Dan Goods. it was a really, really fun panel, and we talked about some pretty interesting things. And if you would like to watch the full panel of that, you can click right here to watch the full thing. It's a little over an hour long though, but it was a lot of fun, so you can definitely check that out there. But that wasn't the reason that I was there, not to be on that panel. The whole reason that I was at the ISDC conference this year was actually to collect interviews for the Tomorrow channel. And there's some interesting people that we talked to, and some pretty, I gotta say, exclusive stuff that we were told. So I don't want to spoil anything yet. Oh man. And if that wasn't enough, just over this last weekend, I actually went down to Tucson for Space Fest. And just the amount of excitement and geekery I was having, being in the same room with all those surviving Apollo astronauts and Skylab astronauts, and just, it was a bit overwhelming. But the main reason that I was actually there was to see the premiere of Dwight Stephen Poniecki's Searching for Skylab documentary, and it was awesome. It was awesome. The documentary was incredible, and it had some footage in it that has never been seen by anyone before, that came about because of the making of this documentary. So we need more projects like that to preserve the archive of the footage that exists before it all gets destroyed or lost or whatever. But anyway, before I get off on another rant, while I was at Space Fest, I also met some other really awesome people too. Aside from the astronauts that I talked to, I met Abby Garrett, who does really awesome SpaceX artwork, and then I also met Tim Dodd, the everyday astronaut, and I met him before, but it was really cool to be able to hang out with them there at Space Fest. Everyone had cool stories. There was so much cool stuff at Space Fest. If you ever get a chance, go, and go within the next year or two. That was like my first one that I'd ever been to, and there was like this feeling of almost sadness, because as the Apollo astronauts are passing away, it's like there might not be an opportunity like this in the near future to be able to go and meet some of these guys, some of these heroes in person. So go to Space Fest if you get the chance. If you get the chance next year, go. I'm definitely gonna go. I have to now. I'm embarrassed that I never went to a different one before. But anyway, I am so excited for the future. I am so excited for the future. And all these different events that I've been showing you, yeah, I might be bragging a little bit, showing off all this cool stuff, but if anything, it has really inspired me and fired me up to start doing videos here on this channel again and talk about all of the things that I just get so excited about. There's so much happening. And thankfully, things have happened in my personal life recently that have allowed me to have the time to start doing a lot more. So, Space Mike is back! Epic Future Space is back! So, with that being said, click right here if you'd like to watch a video about ISRO's recent pad abort test. A lot of people seem to think that the Indian Space Research Organization doesn't have a human spaceflight program, and they don't, but they just got one step closer to having one, and I am so excited for them. I'm so pumped for that. But also watch out next week for a video that I'm going to be releasing talking about the top 5 canceled International Space Station modules that actually had hardware built for them. So watch out for that. And I'm going to be releasing a lot more content on this channel. So let me know in the comments down below what you would like to see. So thank you for watching this video, and thank you for letting me share my excitement for all these different space events that have been happening to me recently. And let me know what you would like to see specifically, and if you would like to contribute, you can connect with me through all my different socials that are linked below, or you can even contribute on Patreon if you would like as well. Everything helps, and that would definitely help to be able to go to more space conferences and collect more interviews for this channel as well. So so many cool things are happening, and I can't wait to share it with you. So yeah, let me know what you think of this. Be sure to check out the pad abort video, and I will see you next week. Wait a minute. This is Epic Future Space. That's not how I sign off on this channel. Let's do this properly, shall we? Keep moving onwards and upwards, everybody, and don't forget, Ad Astra, to the stars.